Okay, vlog for week 6, February 13th, 2026. Okay, so this week I've been thinking almost exclusively about books, okay? And about the effect that they have on the culture of our home. Right now, one of my favorite things that Bella does is that when she walks into a room and she first sees me, she says in her best British accent, "Hello, hello, hello, old bean." And while I'm not thrilled about being called an old bean, my 39th birthday is on the horizon, and so I'm kind of sensitive about being called old right now. She does make me laugh every single time, and the reason she's saying it is because our family is kind of going through a PG Wodehouse phase right now. It started in October-ish is when I first discovered PG Wodehouse, and right now I am working through the Blandings Castle series, and Josiah is working through the Bertram and Jeeves series, or the Wooster series, however you want to describe that. And then at lunch we've been listening to the Indiscretions of Archie, so and it's super just enjoyable and so delightful. So consuming the same literature gives us this family shorthand, and you can also tell what we've been reading based on our conversations. Now, there are things, for instance, from when the boys were toddlers and we read A. Milne over and over and over. Yeah, we still quote him all the time. So there are things that kind of transcend, but also there are things that are very specific to a certain time frame. They're very specific to a certain time in our life, and you can tell that by our conversation. Okay, so we all get these familiar references, right? So I purposed early on when my kids were little to read aloud to them every single night. And we did that starting when Ben and Elijah were babies. And this season is a little more difficult. So my kids range in age from almost 21 to 12. So obviously my oldest, who's 20, does not live here. Elijah, who's 19, is working on getting his own place. So really, in the evenings, who I'm reading aloud to is Josiah, who's 16, and Bella, who's 12. So the thing is the older boys aren't completely out of it, because often when they pass through a room and I am reading aloud, they will stop. And often when Ben is home and we're just having a natural conversation, he is referencing things that we read together, whether for fun or in our homeschool, right? It's not uncommon to hear just one of the 6 of us reference Tolkien, Lewis, Chesterton in our everyday conversation. Bella has called me Helen for 3 years running. Now, my name is Jenny. There's no Helen in my name at all. But she's been calling me Helen because of this reference from this Junie B. Jones book that is so funny. And the line is, "Run, Helen, run like the wind." And it's Junie B. talking to her grandmother. So not even her mom. But Bella has called me Helen pretty consistently for the last 3 years. And what kind of got me started thinking in the lines of books was on Saturday we emptied our living room so that we could paint. And because Bella and I have been working on a book inventory, I know that there are approximately 800 books in our living room alone. And I know that I say approximately because I do not keep any books that I know we will not reread. If it is a one and done, then I usually get rid of it pretty promptly. But what struck me this time was the ability to pick up a book and remember approximately, not perfectly, but approximately how old my kids were when we read it, and kind of the ages and stages and what was going on in our life at that time. It was like another, another way to remember, right? It was another layer of that memory keeping that we as moms so often are concerned with, right? So I was thinking about this series that we return to again and again, which were Chronicles of Narnia, Lord of the Rings, Little House on the Prairie, Harry Potter. These were the things that we would read almost consistently, right? But then there were one-offs. There were books that we enjoyed, but they weren't a series, or they weren't ones that we returned to again and again. There were books that were tied to certain life events, like the summer I was pregnant with Bella, and I read the boys The Borrowers Afield. There was the winter that Ben was obsessed with making hot cocoa from scratch. I think he was about 10, and we made our way through The Boxcar Children. There are also series that we have read independently, but all discussed. I don't think we read any of the Inheritance series out loud, but we've all read them and we've all discussed them. Same for Jeff Wheeler books. There are at least 20 books that I counted that every member of our family has read and we've all discussed from Jeff Wheeler, but we never sat down and like read it aloud, right? There were series that we've started multiple times but could not finish. Side note, why? Why is book 3 from the Wrinkle in Time series so annoying? I love book 1. Book 2 is okay. I cannot make it past 3. I have tried and tried. It goes off the rails. But anyway, there are series that we've come to love late in life, or at least in our family life, right? Because Bella is 12, and last year, starting when she was about 10 and through 11, she became enamored with the Paddington series, and it is so funny. I did not realize how much that I would enjoy the Paddington series, and not just me. I was reading aloud one time. Ben came home from work. This is when he was still living at home, and he was like, "Oh, you're reading Paddington?" And to us, we were like, but these books are new to us. He'd been listening to the audiobooks because it was in our shared library. And so I just thought that was really, really funny. So literature books have created this culture, this dynamic, this shared language, the shared stories, the shared shorthand in a way that I did not anticipate when I first started reading aloud to my kids. And at the end of the day, as I was moving 800 books back and forth this weekend, I'm just really thankful for the culture and the shared memories that books have created for our family. So just for a couple things that came to mind as I was writing this, when I say you never can tell, my children fill in with bears or bees from A.A. Milne. When we refer to Terry loves geography, we all laugh. When we say curiouser and curiouser, no one has to explain that that's from Alice in Wonderland. When Bella and I are feeling a little silly and we start quoting Whose Body, more often than not, we're quoting the part, oh, do have a body, everybody welcome, which is one of Lord Peter's best monologues in the whole book. When we say someone is being like Mr. Curry, well, it's enough said. That's not a compliment. When we reference Bacchus or Sir Botany Bee, these are things that the whole family understands. So literature, and specifically the time set aside to enjoy good literature together every single night, has done this. And these are just the books that we've read for fun. Time would not allow me to tell you all the things that we have learned and enjoyed from the books from our homeschool, right? So these are just for fun. So if you have not made reading aloud part of your regular rhythm of life, I just want to encourage you that, yes, it's good to read aloud to our kids. Yes, it's fun. Yes, it's an entertaining way to pass an evening. But more importantly than that, we're like building culture, and we may not even be able to see it until years down the road. So that is what I've been thinking about. Thank you for watching my vlog this week. Have a great day.